Hey, what is up, beautiful people? I am so excited to share with you why I'm getting off social media for 6 months. Along my spiritual and personal development journey, have been given the gift multiple times of, in a matter of moments, seeing all the decisions that have compounded over my entire lifetime that have resulted in the person that I am today and the results that I'm creating in all areas of my life today. And I was given one of these gifts in these moments again back at the end of last year. And I decided that I wanted some pretty radically different things for my life than the way that I'd been living them and experiencing them. And so for this reason, inspiredly and intuitively came the decision to get off of social media for 6 months and to put my head down in pursuit of the questions that I've asked myself, which I hope this video inspires you to ask yourself is, what is really important to me and what really, truly, actually matters. And so I'm going to be sharing with you a bit about those things that I'm focused on and what I'm going to be focused on in the next 6 months. And I'm excited to come back at the end of the 6 months to share more about with you. And in the meantime, just please keep on watching and continue to ask yourself those daring questions that will move the needle forward the most in your life, even if and especially if it's different than what most people around you are doing. So without further ado, I'll get to the rest of the video. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.
Something that I'm really excited to dive into over these next 6 months is, and I have a list here that I want to share with you, is global citizenship, global business, global relationships, global opportunities, and global freedom. Ever since I was in the womb, basically, I've been traveling overseas. Half my family lives in Europe. Je parle français. I've lived and spent so much time in Belgium outside of Paris. And I also lived in Bali for a bit and in Thailand. And I have always traveled and I've always had the travel bug. I just always have. And I feel really grateful and fortunate for that. And I recognize that a deep part of what satisfies my soul and what makes me happy is travel. I experience travel in a very similar way in comparison to investing into my personal development. How I feel about what I learn about myself and the world and how I grow and develop in a personal development training, like a program or a course or an experience or a retreat or things like that, is always what I feel whenever I leave my environment and I travel somewhere else and I come back, right? I experience the same level of growth, belief change, mindset change, lifestyle change, upgrades, removal of things that no longer serve me, just making better decisions and just really optimizing my life when I travel the same way that I do when I invest in my personal development. So personally, that's been my experience. And I recognize that why not do what I love and show myself that I can make connections and grow business and be a part of opportunities and unique experiences and live in other parts of the world. Why not go do what I do elsewhere, right? Why not continue to expand that? Why not see what that's really like? So another aspect that I'm really excited to focus on is pursuing financial mastery. Pursuing financial mastery, really understanding cryptocurrency, really understanding what I want to do in regards to building wealth, pursuing Fat FIRE. And for those of you that don't know, FIRE stands for Financially Independent, Retire Early, what that means to me, what that looks like, and how I can really just dive deep into this. And honestly, my hope with this is, in sharing it, is to inspire other women to love talking about money, love learning about money, love creating wealth, because it's honestly one of the things that I love talking about most is money. And inviting you into going down the rabbit holes of understanding what money actually is. Understanding where money actually comes from and the origin of money, understanding the evolution of money, understanding what the Federal Reserve banking system is. Lots to say there. Understanding what cryptocurrency is and what decentralized banking means for the future. Understanding the pros and cons to the systems that are set in place. Understanding, and something that I'm really excited about is, being able to operate and think at different levels and in different modes, so that the way that I exchange my energy and my thought processes and what I have to share and offer in service and how that pertains to an exchange, aka money, how that gets to be different than the way that I saw it growing up, like most of us, right? Especially if you have at least one parent that grew up in the US, is struggle and money and trading time for money has such a slave-like mentality and way of living associated with it, with struggle and with a cap on what you can make and what you can do and the hierarchies and how you can live your life. And there's nothing wrong with trading time for money, don't get me wrong. But I just realized, like, there's got to be another way. There's another way, right? When you zoom out of the world, when you zoom even out of a city and you look around you, there's money everywhere. Who owns the building that people are working a 9 to 5 in? Who owns these buildings? Who runs banks? How does this work? Who owns a majority of companies around the world? How does that work? How do these systems that are in place work the way that they do? Wow, okay, so knowing that there's all these other ways of making money, there's all these other ways of looking at money, there's all these other ways of providing value to the marketplace, what else is possible here, right? Talking about exponential growth, talking about non-linear growth, talking about growing in a way that you become self-sustaining, including in the area of finances. So that is something that really excites me. I'm excited to just share more about what I learned through this process with you guys. Another thing is, honestly, which is a natural byproduct of all of this, which is deep focus. Deep focus. Yes to deep focus, right? Deep focus on everything that is truly important and saying no to literally everything else. Something else that I've learned that when I look back in hindsight, because hindsight is always right, is learning how to protect what's private, right? And what is meant to be shared with purpose and intention online with others. How can one be of service while not sacrificing their privacy and personal information? Something that I realized was that I made the mistake of sharing things online that I was still processing. I made the mistake of oversharing personal information, oversharing things that I was still going through. For me, it was a part of just practicing better discernment in how I show up online and how that translated into my own life, period. So that was my own learning process. And yeah, I'm excited to just learn how I can be of service and also protect my own just private and personal life and information. Something that really inspires me is, and there's a specific mentor that comes to mind, is creating a really high quality, deep, meaningful, global online community. Do I want to pursue this? Knowing what it takes, learning more over these next 6 months, what it really takes. What are the foundational values and mission and vision and impact that I'm meant to create and live out on social media, right? Do I want to go all in on that path? There's a mentor that comes to mind that has done this incredibly well and incredibly successfully for many large companies and organizations around the world for tens of thousands of people. And it takes a specific kind of person to build a meaningful online community. And it takes groundwork, it takes foundations, right? What values are we sharing? Why are you coming to my online page, right? What values do we share because you're here? What are we all working towards together? How can we make a greater impact because we're connecting here online? So in taking this time away from it, I'm excited to dive further into that. That's how my relationship with social media, I feel like, is definitely evolving and growing. And wanting to say, like, this isn't a goodbye, right? It's a see you soon because I have a lot to share. A lot to share and a lot to build. So tying into that is learning more about the role that I play in helping create a better, more hopeful future in the world, for the world, with other leaders and positively influential companies. There's just a lot. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of rabbit holes to go down about the matrix, aka another way of wording that is just the systems and the processes that have been set in place for a very long time. What is working, what is no longer working, and people are waking up to realizing that they have a choice on where they want to focus their attention and energy and what they want to subscribe to and what they don't. And that they have a say in the way that things are rolling out, and that they can choose to not say yes or comply to certain things, right? And to each his own, and we all get to formulate our own perspective and opinion. And those are the kinds of companies that I want to work with. And those are the kinds of people that I want to work with, is people that understand that we have a right to gather all of this information that is openly, readily, sometimes overwhelmingly available to us, and formulate our own opinions on the kind of world that we want to live in, and formulate our own opinions on the kind of world that we want to live in, and the kind of constructs that we want to choose to subscribe to that will therefore then impact the future that we live in or not, right? I get really pumped up about this stuff, like really pumped up. So the next thing is, just having fun, right? Like having fun. I'm really excited to experiment with a lot here, as you can tell. Having fun with this, right? Like, how do I want to live my life? How do you want to live your life, right? This is a precious life that we're living. What do you want to spend your time with, right? What do you want to invest in? Yeah, we have a lot of time, but also time flies. What do you want to spend your precious life doing? It's a question I've been really asking myself lately. Ram Dass, which if you haven't seen his documentary, has an amazing documentary, highly recommend it, has this very simple and powerful quote that says, "The quieter you become, the more you can hear." I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. That is what I'm doing with social. I'm calling it monk mode, right? And monk mode is not something that I created. It's a movement, and you get to just make it your own, right? Monk mode is like, what are you saying no to so you can say yes to what's really important? What's really important to you? What really matters to you? And then all that other stuff, like, say no to it, right? I know easier said than done sometimes, but it's a practice, and it does get easier to listen to your heart's desires and your intuitive nudges and your soul's calling. I tell you what. Woo! Okay, so simple questions you can ask yourself, questions I've been asking myself is, what have you been avoiding, right? Close the door that you have been leaving cracked open, thinking that things maybe can go back to the way that they were. Oftentimes, people don't need new information. They simply need to be reminded. AKA, we have the answers we're seeking externally within. So corny, but so true. So true. But how can you hear the nudges of your heart? How can you hear the nudges of your soul, your intuition, when your life, and I'm guilty of this too, right? I get to remind myself every day, when your life is stuffed, booked, scheduled, and busy to the brim, especially with things that suck your life force away. How can you hear the nudges? You can't even spend 5 to 10 minutes a day without moving in silence, right? Something that I do with clients when we first start working together is that, right? Like silent meditation and building it up every single day or building it up every single week. Man. Ooh, the answers, the health, the clarity, the awareness, the nudges, the inspired action, all the things that come from silence with yourself. Whew. That is not what we're taught in school. That is not what we're taught in school. I digress for now. I'll be back in 6 months and then I won't be digressing at all. Yeah, so basically all the decisions that we're doing today are what our future looks like, right? If I was running for president, that would be my opening line. It's so true. Every single thing that you're doing today is going to create your future. Every single thing that you do behind closed doors matters. You matter. I promise you, you matter. Your life matters. Your voice matters. And you make an impact unconsciously to anyone that you come into contact with, whether it's at the grocery store, whether it's at work, whether it's on a Zoom meeting, doesn't matter. Online, in person, your friends, your family, your relationships. Every single thing that you do matters. Your life matters. Your voice matters. Especially to my women watching this, your voice matters. Whew, man, I thought that I was speaking my truth, and I thought that I was allowing myself to use my voice openly. And then I had a conversation with a friend a couple nights ago, and I realized there is so much that I haven't shared with you guys. There is so much that I have not spoken to that has been on my heart and is on my heart for a reason, because I've been afraid of really, truly speaking my heart. I've spoken and taught educational things, personal development, self-mastery things, events, trainings, networking events, all the things. But there's so much more that's ready to be birthed, and I'm excited for this next 6 months for that to just crystallize, for me to be preparing, to be able to be of service in a greater way. I love you guys so much, and I truly believe that the quality of your life is directly correlated to the quality of questions you're willing and daring enough to ask yourself, others, and the world. So stay curious, peel back the layers, question the systems in place, formulate your own opinions, act on those opinions that you feel so passionately about. I support you. I'm here for you. I'm rooting for you. And if you've been on this journey with me since I've been on social for a really long time, like if you've been here with me since my Lux Collective days, which was my first business, holla at you. And I'm so excited to be on this ride with you. I will be back. This is not a goodbye. I love you guys. That's all for now. Peace.